be talking about conjunctions. A conjunction is used to join phrases or sentences together. It's also used, like you can use the word and to combine groups of things, of two or more things. And you often use conjunctions to join compound sentences, which I know you guys worked on before. You guys were surgeons, right? Sentence surgeons. All right, so we are going to talk about conjunctions today. Who can tell me what fanboys is? Does anybody remember what fanboys is? Olivia.
Fanboys isn't like, you just use it like, for example, always.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yep.
It just,
So it's used
helps you to remember.
It's used to help us remember those coordinating conjunctions. So each letter stands for one conjunction. Does anybody else know any of the other letters? Eli.
Here.
And is for the A. Aaron.
So.
What was that?
So.
So. Edward?
You.
That's not quite what I'm looking for. That's more of a pronoun or a noun, right? You. Thinking about words that can link sentences together. Eli.
Nor.
Nor. That's a good one. That's not one that we use very often, is it? Quinn.
I'm sorry, I forgot my.
Oh, that's okay.
I-
Addie.
What?
But. Quinn, did you remember?
Yeah, your.
Your. That's not quite the one I'm looking for. Remember, we're thinking about words that can connect sentences. Ryan? These last two are pretty tricky ones. The Y is for yet. Alex? Four.
I wanted to say that one. Oh, I was gonna say that.
All right. So we have fanboys, for and nor, but, or, yet, and so.
So. Make a
So.
sentence with all those.
You can make a full
Just
sentence
that.
out of just conjunctions? I don't think so. You need those nouns and those verbs. All right, so unfortunately, our subordinating conjunctions are not as easy to remember. We don't have a cool saying like fanboys to remember our subordinating conjunctions. I'm just going to help you out with these ones because these ones are a little trickier. So, for subordinating conjunctions, we have after, although, as soon as, because, before. Do you know some of them?
I already knew what you just wrote.
Even though. Since.
I was thinking soon.
Oh, that would be. I think that might be one. Oh, as soon as. That's what I was thinking of. Since, until, unless, if, while, and when. And of course, there are a lot more. That's why they're so hard to remember. So, when we are joining simple, complete sentences and using our coordinating conjunctions, we want to put a comma before the conjunction. So, my example to demonstrate that is Okay, my example is I want to buy those shoes, but I don't have enough money. So, I want to buy those shoes, and my conjunction is but. So where do I need to put the comma? Olivia?
Behind that? After the shoes.
Before our conjugation, or before our conjunction,
Congregation?
not conjugation.
Because you're saying your conjunction.
Conjunction, yeah.
So even more like, it's sort of like splitting it up.
You are exactly right. But I don't have enough money. So when we're talking about subordinate clauses and using them with main clauses, we want to put the comma after the subordinate clause. So for my example for this one, I have, since Mary didn't help make the bread, she doesn't get to eat it. What's my conjunction in that sentence? Alex? Since. That's going to be my first word here. Since, is there a comma at the very beginning when we were talking about subordinate clauses? Edward? Thank you for raising your hand. No. Since Mary didn't help make the bread, she didn't eat any. Where do I need to put my comma? Where's the end of my subordinate clause? Daniel? Before Mary. We want to look on this one, remember, when we're talking about subordinate clauses being used with main clauses, we want to put our comma after the whole subordinate clause, not just after that conjunction. Grace. After bread. So our first subordinate clause is since Mary didn't help make the bread, comma, and then our main clause is that she didn't eat any. So we need to put our comma after that first one. Now there's another way that you can write those sentences too. We have the main clause and then the subordinate clause. But we don't use a comma in that instance. We still have a conjunction, but we don't use a comma. So Mary didn't eat any bread. Since she didn't help make it.
So they kind of flip it?
Yeah. It's a great observation. So, like Olivia pointed out, they're just flipped. So instead of using the subordinate clause first, we're going to use the subordinate clause after. Since Mary didn't help make the bread, and then it's kind of flip-flopped, but we use a little bit different wording. She didn't help make it, so she didn't get to use any. So, who can remind me what the coordinating conjunctions are? Eddie?
It wasn't not about that, but can't you also use a semicolon sometimes?
Yes, you can. That's for different ones when you have different sentences. Aaron. Yeah, that would also work, and that's also another example of our subordinating conjunctions. So you don't have to just use one kind. A lot of the times you can use many different kinds of conjunctions in your sentences. you're gonna be able to get a little practice using some conjunctions later on. Who can remind me, what does fanboy stand for? Gavin, what is fanboys used for? Help us remember what kinds of conjunctions. Coordinating or subordinating? Right here. Fanboys is used to help us remember our coordinating conjunctions. What are the conjunctions in my coordinating conjunctions area, Alex?
For and nor, but, nor, yet, so.
For and nor, but, or yet, so. And our subordinating is a gigantic list, some of which we have up here. So we are going to do a little practice with fanboys together as a class, and then you guys are going to come up with your own sentences. And I have the electrician. The lights, please.
Oh yeah.
When I know the answer blank, I can't tell you. What makes the most sense there? Gracie. But. Are there any other conjunctions that would work as well? Or do you think but is the best one we can use? Quinn.
Nor. I
I
know the answer, nor I can't tell you.
nor can't tell you. What do you think?
No,
Think that fits?
no, I thought there, if it had an I, it would fit, but wait. Oh, it does. It has I.
Well, I like the way that you're thinking about it. Trying to use other conjunctions. Addie,
So?
that could work. Or and I can't tell you. So you can use a bunch of different conjunctions in place of but. Number 2, should we go by train, blank, take the bus? Daniel. Or. I am allergic to cats, blank, I have 2 of them. Edward. That works. You could also use but. She did not study blank, she failed the test. Alex.
So.
Mm-hmm. I will be late for the party, blank, I will be having dinner with my parents first. Amy.
There was, I have to tell the answer, but there was another one that could go with the, so she did not study, so she put the test.
What are you thinking for that one?
But, wait, she did not study, but, and she failed the test.
And?
Yeah.
Or are you saying and or but?
And.
I like and.
Also, she, wait, no.
What do you think about
Yet.
what do you think about 5? I will
I
be
will
late
be-
for the party.
Yet I'm having dinner. With my parents.
I think there might be one that fits a little bit better
So?
than yet. Gavin, what do you think?
So.
I will be late for the party, so I will be having dinner with my parents. Okay, yes. Daniel, what do you think? I'm looking for a conjunction that tells us.
But.
I like that one the best. I will be late for the party, but I will. I will be late for the party. But I will be having dinner with my parents first.
Or work too.
That could work too. For That's not one that's very common, but it works. Number 6, can you stay here, blank, wait for him? Kenny? And. She does not like apples. Blank, does she like oranges? Aaron? Oh, that works too. She does not like apples, nor does she like oranges. All right, number 8. He has a small house, blank, it feels very spacious. Abby?
Yes.
I like that one. You could also use but here. But it feels very spacious, yet it feels very spacious. You can pay with cash, blank, you can use your credit card. Eli? Oh, that's great. You can also use and. He was driving too fast, blank, he missed the turn. Reddick? So he missed the turn. That's true. We bathed the dog, blank, we could not get him clean. Grace? Yep, yet and but would both work. He was supposed to study, blank, he played games instead. Quinn? He was supposed to study, blank, he played games instead.
Yet.
That's a good one.
We're gonna be bored.
You're exactly right. So look at on our paper, in those cases where we're using yet, we can also use but in a lot of those cases. Because they mean similar things and can be used in similar fashion. Eli, can you grab the lights for me? So, what we are going to be doing is you guys are going to be practicing making compound sentences, or you can write a sentence that uses conjunction in another way, like a group of things, using and, like I like popcorn and pizza.
Yum.
I have an example of what you're going to be doing right here. So I need to write a 2-part sentence, or I need to have a group of 2 or more things on my paper. First part of my sentence, which is one of the examples that's on the poster. I want to buy the shoes. So I'm going to write that on my hand first, on the green hand. I'm going to write the first part of my sentence. Then I'm going to write the second part of my sentence. I don't have enough money. What conjunction can I use? I want to buy the shoes, blank, I don't have enough money. Gavin?
What?
But. So I'm going to write my conjunction, and remember those rules where the comma needs to go and if you need to use a comma. So in this case, I need to put a comma where? Before or after the word but? Kenny?
Before.
Before, excellent. So on my little blue piece of paper right here, I have written my conjunction. It is underlined and I have a comma on my blue piece of paper. I am going to connect my 2 hands with my conjunction. So that is an example if you are going to be joining simple and complete sentences. And then I have another example if you are going to use conjunctions in a different way. So you could say, I like popcorn. And then in here, my conjunction would be and. Do we need a comma in this case? If we're just saying something and something else? No, correct. And pizza. So does everybody understand? What about if we're writing a subordinate clause with a main clause? That's a little trickier, right? Alex?
Wouldn't you not put a comma?
There is no, where? In this one, I like popcorn and pizza?
Yes.
There is no comma. You guys are right. There's not a comma in there. There's just a conjunction. Edward?
I gotta look for the top one. It could be yes, right?
Remember, like we said on that worksheet, that yet and but can both be used in similar cases. So that can be yet as well. Good observation. Gavin?
What if you wanted to do like, I like popcorn, pizza, and ice cream?
That's a great one as well. You can do 2 or more things, but remember you need to have, what do you need to have to split up those 3 things?
An and then one.
You need to have a comma as well to break those up. If I said,
It wouldn't be one if you did, I like pizza and ice cream and popcorn. You couldn't do that one, right?
you can, but it's a lot nicer when you split them up with commas. It's more grammatically correct. So if you're going to add ice cream, then you need to put a comma. I like ice cream, comma, and popcorn. Any questions before we get started, Alex?
Don't it like similar to yours?
I would love to see how creative you can get on your own. I think you guys have compound sentences and conjunctions down pretty well. Gracie.
The sentence that I want, could you use subordinating?
Subordinating.
Because
I think
could do
that works as well. I like that. I like that example. So, like Gracie just said, we can also use some subordinating conjunctions. Although I don't have enough money. Good observation, Gracie. Although I don't have enough money. Okay. Are we ready to write our own sentences? Books away. It's not gonna be perfect, but nice. That's a great idea. How'd you do that? Oh. Genius. All right, I would like 3 volunteers to share their sentences with us. Quinn.
I don't like Squirrel Girl, but I love Ant-Man.
What's Squirrel Girl?
She's a superhero that hasn't been really made that much.
Oh,
She's not that popular though.
I've never heard of Squirrel Girl.
She's in most of the comic books that Marvel made, but nobody sees them anymore.
All right. I love Ant-Man. Oh, I don't like Squirrel Girl, but I love Ant-Man. That's a great example. What is your conjunction there, Quinn?
But.
But. All right, Edward, why don't you give us your example?
I like the dinosaur, but I like Home Alone more.
Oh, talking about your favorite movies. I like that. I have that.
Productions, but.
And your conjunctions, but great. Alex.
I went to the candy store, but they were out of candy.
But they were out of candy. What's your conjunction?
But.
Does anybody have a sentence that doesn't have the word but in it as your conjunction? Gavin.
I jumped off the cliff even though I knew I would be injured.
And what's your conjunction?
Even though.
And what kind of conjunction is that? Subordinating or coordinating? Subordinating. Excellent job. Last person, Gavin. Oh, Reddick.
He was grounded, so he could play video games. So he could play. So so he could not play video games.
So he couldn't play video games. What's your conjunction there?
So,
So, and is that coordinating or subordinating?
coordinating.
It falls under that fanboys category, right? Awesome job. You can write your names on the backs of your sentences and put them right at the back of that kidney table.